All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Game 3, the final game between Lucky and Mana in this absolutely fantastic series between these two players. The map is Antigua Shipyard, which I unfortunately didn't look up the statistics before I started this replay. I was just so excited. I want to go right into it. So I do apologize, guys. I don't have the racial statistics on this map. I know I looked it up before, but I have forgotten it, obviously. So do bear with me. We'll just have to see what happens, man. Forget the statistics, forget the numbers. It's all about the right here, right now, and we'll see what happens. Lucky is the red Zerg in the bottom left-hand corner of Antigua Shipyard. Mouz.Mana is the teal or green Terran at the top right-hand corner. They have cross-spawned here, and usually this most tournaments favor going for the cross-spawn version of this map because it is kind of an imbalanced map if you get situational spawns for, next to each other. So we do have the cross spawn here, and we do have Mana directly cross scouting down in the bottom left hand corner. Overlord also making its way to the top right, and wow, I am so excited for this matchup. And now that I've thought about it, it actually is a Zerg favorite map. I remember the statistics from Safano versus Elfie. I think it was like a 55% win rate for Zerg, and if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense because the openness of the center of the field of the map is really Zerg favoring. The potential to attack into the third as well, also a big component that will help Lucky potentially take this third and final matchup. Now, this is going to be big plays here. Will that pro block the hatchery again? Wow, look at that. Mana knowing that the hatchery won't be ready for a little bit longer. Wow, he didn't even have the probe there. He just realized the hatchery wouldn't be ready for a little bit longer, so he left the probe over to the right, and he would bring it in later anyway. So just absolutely astounding game sense by Mana, and now he brings it in to play the mind games. But what the heck is this? Lucky has expanded his hatchery over to the Protoss Natural. WTF? What is going on? Oh my god, Lucky is tired of having his hatchery blocked. He's expanded over to the Protoss Natural. This is incredible. I am freaking out right now, guys. I have no idea what's gonna happen. Mana says, okay, you wanna expand there? I think I'm just gonna block you in, and this could be a really crazy game. Now, does Mana have a forge on the way? Mana should have a forge. Yes, he has a forge. And that's huge. He can just build photon cannons and completely crush this hatchery. But will he have the photon cannons up in time? The forge is about a few seconds away from finishing. It's actually going to finish around the same time as the hatchery. The spawning pool is on the way here. Lucky is going for basically all-out cheese. He's going to build Zerglings inside the Protoss Natural. Now, the Natural has been locked off. I don't even know if I can call this a Protoss Natural, guys. This is now the Zerg Natural. So, Lucky has claimed the Natural, and the Zerglings are on the way, but not before the photon cannon, or the first one is out and is about to come down. The second photon cannon is up, and I don't really know how Lucky is going to pull this off because that photon cannon is going to start to wail away on this hatchery. Oh my god, Lucky is actually making a queen out of this hatchery as well. What an insane game. And now it looks like he's going to expand over to his normal natural. So this isn't, I guess this isn't a super all-in. This is just some kind of a pseudo all-in designed to do some damage. He is forfeited or conceded that the hatchery will eventually go down, but not before he takes some probes down with him. And how many probes can he get? He is going to start to harass the mineral field. 2 Zerglings inside so far. A queen has popped out, but the queen is really worthless here. I don't know what he's going to do with it. He's going to try to make a couple creep tumors? Interesting. I'm very intrigued right now. He built a creep tumor instead of spawning larvae, so he's going to have less overall units. And now the probes and zealots have made their way out. They are going to surround that Zerglings and the queen. The queen is fighting for her dear life, but actually the queen and Zerglings went out. Unbelievable. And Lucky now, his hatchery is about to go down. Will he be able to spit out any more units out of his larva before it dies down? The Brootlings have spawned out. Oh my god, could he take out the photon cannon with the Brootlings? No, it doesn't look like he will, but he did weaken it very well. And it is in the yellow right now, lost all of its shields. What an incredible game now. The creep has started to recede, and all of a sudden Lucky has some Zerglings out at the front door as well. Oh, could Lucky potentially be going for some kind of a pincer here at the front gate? That would be very intriguing, but there are 2 photon cannons he's got to work through in order to do that. Does he have more Zerglings on the way? No, he doesn't. He's just droning up for now, trying to go back into the macro phase. But you know what is really nice about what Lucky just pulled off? He essentially did what all Protosses do to Zergs, which is block the natural, and he has blocked the natural by putting the hatchery down. No Nexus can come up, and he's put creep tumors down, so no Nexus can continue to come up until some type of form of detection can come out. So this is brilliant. Lucky is essentially performed some type of, I don't know if this is revolutionary or not, but he's essentially blocked the natural with creep tumors, and the Protoss player is basically on one base. Mana cannot get a Nexus down until he gets a robotics facility out. What a big play by the Zerg player, completely reserving this little ace card he had in the hole for the last and final ace match. I am astounded right now. This is a brilliant play. And for a while there, I was like, man, the Zerg's definitely behind because he lost a hatchery. The cheese pretty much failed, but there is no Nexus at all coming from Mana. And Mana has got to get a robotics facility out to deal with that. So his build totally blocked off. It's a 2-base Zerg to a 1-base Protoss, and what a game. Wow, what a block by Lucky. And now Mana's finally got a robotics facility out so he can get an observer and he can start to destroy the creep tumors, but there's 5 tumors he's got to work through, and so that's a lot of tumorage that he's got to kill off, and he really doesn't have that many forces to kill him with, just a sentry right now. That's the only unit he's got on the field, so it's gonna take him some time to get his Nexus down. And on top of that, even if you kill the creep tumors, it takes some time for the creep to recede as well. So yeah, it's gonna take a while. Another creep tumor coming up. Is it gonna burrow? It is not gonna burrow in time, and even if it did, the observer is finally out, and the sentries are going to begin to work down the creep tumors. So wow, finally the Protoss is going to be able to get some type of control over his natural expansion. He knows it, he wants it, he needs the Nexus down at the natural right now because he's been on one base for 9 minutes into this game already, and his build is totally messed up right now. It's foobarred beyond all recognition. I've never seen a build like this from a Protoss before, off of one base, and now Mana's gonna try to compensate by getting a Warp Prism out on the field. We'll have to see how creative he can get with this Warp Prism. This is his one attempt to get back in this game. He actually dodged the Overseer there. I don't know if you guys realized that, but the Overseer was going into the base to look for something, and the Warp Prism dodged the vision of the Overseer. So right now, I don't think that Lucky realizes that there's a Warp Prism on the field, and there's an imminent possibility of a drop play coming from him, from Mana. Mana's still trying to get that Nexus down. He has saved up enough resources, more than enough, but he's got to wait for the creep to recede, and it takes a damn long time for that creep to recede. So it'll be a while before the Nexus comes out. That Warp Prism trying to dodge the Zergling there. I don't know if the Zerg forces see it. Wow, did he just thread the needle between those two Zerglings? Unreal. And I still actually don't know if Lucky realizes that there's a Warp Prism coming out, but he's got 7 Mutalisks. He's transitioned into a Spire, and he's going to have Mutalisks out, and Mutas will absolutely crush the Warp Prism. Finally, the Nexus comes down. Man, Mana, your Nexus is so late. Stating the obvious right there, I know, but it is absolutely late. And here comes Mana. He's going for the 4th Century cheese play, trying to block off the ramp and then warp in a huge army with the Warp Prism into the main, but it gets shut down by the Mutalisks, and those sentries have to hop out. There's no hope for them. Oh, that's rough. So the sentries are all going to go down. I don't know if you realize what Mana tried to do there. He tried to go for a cheese. It's a very common cheese, actually. What the Protoss says, bring a Warp Prism in, drop 4 sentries, force fields the ramp, deploys a Warp Prism, and summons a bunch of reinforcements, and then tries to kill the Zerg inside the main. A couple of Zealots coming out over here, trying to destroy the 3rd hatchery, but that's not going to happen. There's too many Zerglings and Mutas on the field now, and Lucky is starting to run away with it. He's expanding to the 4th now, so it's a 4-base Zerg to still a 1-base Protoss, basically. Well, about to be a 2-base Protoss, but things are starting to get a little bit out of control here. Lucky flying in with a couple of Mutas. He knows he's got the advantage. He's going to try to crush his way through the front door. There's only one pylon to block this off, and the pylon has lost all of its shields, and the pylon beginning to lose some of its health, and I'm not too sure why Lucky decided to pull back right there. He could have actually stormed the front through the Protoss natural, and he could have done so much damage, potentially game-ending damage, but he decided to pull away there. Might have been a mistake, actually, and right now he's still on layer tech. Sticking with Zerglings and Mutas. I am still astounded by the opening build order of this game. That was cold, that was calculated. It was not some type of cheese with, you know, Zerglings, some kind of an all-in. But it was essentially made to block the natural with creep. And he pulled it off brilliantly because he knows a Protoss player can't expand over here. That's impossible on this map because you'll break down the Zerg can break down the rocks and crush that from 2 open areas, 2 open ramps. So the Protoss can only expand here. He took control of that and exploited it and blocked it off with creep tumors. And now look at Lucky. He's gonna flood in here with the Zerglings and Mutas. This could be all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how Mana can hold this off. He's brought some more Stalkers out from the main. Can he make a hold here or not? The photon cannons that were there present in the beginning are starting starting to go down, but it looks like Lucky once again pulling away. I'm not too sure why. I think he could have just went in there and done a ton of damage, but he decides to pull back, continue to sit back on his 4 bases, I suppose, and macro up a bigger advantage. He's going to bring Mutas into the natural now. Twilight Council faking the Chrono Boost research, or I don't know what's going on here. Mana just drops a Chrono Boost on a Twilight Council, but there's nothing he's researched. He has already finished the Blink upgrade, actually, so I don't know what's going on. Mana maybe just be totally flustered right now, and you can't really blame him. He's still under attack from all these angles. There is a potentially actually a hole in the front door somehow, because the Zerglings have made their way into the natural and are now starting to bother the Protoss ground army. Oh man, Lucky is just a genius, man. What a mastermind of this game of StarCraft 2. And Mana right now getting worked. What can Mana do to get back in this game? He is really, really far behind. He knows he's playing for 20 grand. He's playing not only for the money, but also the reputation. Has a pylon and a zealot, a little outpost over here, but that is going to be caught by Lucky. Lucky is all over things right now, and the Mutas have decided to engage here. 0-0 Mutas against 0-1 Stalkers. So the Stalkers actually can win here. He just needs to micro the Stalkers properly, but now the Zerglings flooding in. A force field goes down to block the Zerglings, but not before the Zerglings get inside, and Mana is about to lose this game. No, he makes a hold with more reinforcing Stalkers, and just barely holding on by the skin of his teeth is Mana right now, and Lucky is just biding his time like a vulture swirling over his prey, just waiting for the time when the Protoss has rotted all but to death. He's basically placed a trade embargo over the Protoss spaces and keeping the Protoss inside 2 bases while he expands at will. Knows eventually that he can just win this out through outright attrition. Gonna kill off the Cybernetics core too. There is no Stalkers that can come out anymore. Mana realizes he's out, and GG, good luck, Suguyo. That is it, and that is all she wrote. The Zerg wins. Lucky, FXO.Lucky, another Korean, makes it on to the semifinals of the Assembly Assembly Winter ASUS ROG. It's kind of confusing to say, but what a game, what a set of games. I hope you guys enjoyed those as much as I did, and if you guys did, please do check me out. I am at YouTube at HD StarCraft. I'm also on Twitter and Facebook at HD StarCraft as well. I appreciate all the subscribers and followers, and continue to stay tuned, because tomorrow I'll be bringing you guys the final set of games from the round of 8 of this tournament. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is HD signing out.